And we're returning. This is the final segment, continuing from part 2. And I had to go take my mother to her bank and get it notarized and get one of the managers to sign off to identify that it was my mother, Nettie Easter. And go back over here, my mother to sign this also. Then had the reason borrower is unable to sign because, as you notice, it's been signed deceased. My father was already deceased. But my mother made her signature there, and she signed that in. And as I was saying earlier, we had to go to the bank, her bank, and get one of the managers in there to witness it and also put down the title of who she was and notarize it. And the seal was there. I'm not going to put anybody's name on the internet without the permission, so that's why everything is blank here. But I got the other copies. But like I was saying, a lot of people didn't know what this was at the time. And they just basically started with junk mail. Because I've got a lot of these postcard notices talking about settlements, and most of them that I've gotten, it's been true. But again, I go back to the day that I believe and I know that God told me to go to the mailbox and check it. Because my mother and father had been done wrong. They've been told to get out of their house. And over the years, I've been going past 307 Street, and it's been mostly empty. I don't know if anyone occupied it now or not, but most of the time it's like they would prefer it to be an empty house so they can continue to rent it out and flip it, but they don't want nobody to actually own it. So if they put my mother and father out of that house illegally, that house should belong to my mother and father. That's why they came up with this whole settlement thing, because they know what they'd done was wrong. And at the time, State of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Attorney General. And it was coming from the North Carolina Department of Justice, National Mortgage Settlement Administrator. And that's why I brought all this up. That's the process they're gonna put you through. And that's what they and I'll reiterate and say this again. It's like there's always someone in society that see you having wealth and property, and they're trying to find a way to get away from you legally. Because they hate to see people of color own anything. Now, I don't want to be going out on something that associated with been over emotional, but I go back and I track the evidence. My mother and father actually owned that house. That was their home, and they should have been there. That should have been their house. But they were forced out of there and told to leave. Just to find out 4 years later, that it was illegal.